Well, it's winter here in Ontario, Canada, and behind me are some beautiful herbs that I purchased at a grocery store about 6 weeks ago. Now, you can see that these guys looking a little worse for wear. I've got some, I think this is cilantro, although I don't know why it's brown. We have some thyme. We have some basil. Not exactly sure what kind of basil this is. That's what you get when you buy it at a grocery store. You get what you get. But we've got some yellowing leaves. We've got some browning leaves. We've got some browning stems. Now this could be a lot of different things. However, I've been gardening long enough to know just what these guys need. It's not a lack of love. They've been getting lots of light. They've been getting lots and lots of water. So what is it? Well, today we're going to look to solve that problem and revive these plants. So let's go. We got to grow. Let's talk about potting up. I think that's what's going on with these plants. I think they're just root bound. So let's have a look here. We've got our basil plant, which is the one I think is worse for wear. It's the worst of them all. We've got, like, look at these browning leaves. This one's hurting. Now, I know that I've been watering it. I know it's been getting light. I know I've been taking care of it because I care about this little guy or girl. I think this one's a girl. It is probably root bound. So let's pull it out and let's see. Whoa. That's pretty bad. Give me a sec. I'm sorry, buddy. No, I was just really busy. It was work. I mean, it's been so stressful. I'm so sorry. Listen, if you feel that way when you pull your plant out and see that it's root bound like crazy, basically in jail, root jail, don't worry about it. It's okay. It happens. Life gets busy. Life gets stressful. Let's not worry about it too much, okay? But yeah, we care about our plants and it hurts to see them so broken. Anyways, this actually isn't too bad. It's nothing we can't fix. So the way we're going to fix it, we're going to pot it up. We're going to give it that environment that it needs. We're going to give it that space that it wanted probably 8 months ago. Okay, this isn't so bad. Don't sweat it. Let's get some soil. I don't want to put the soil directly into the pot, and I'll tell you why. I want to moisten it first. The last thing I want is when I'm stressing this guy out already to be putting it into a pot where it has dry soil that's going to suck the moisture out of the roots. So we're going to pay attention to that first and foremost. This whole process, we want to make sure that these roots stay wet. And actually right now, even before we get going here, I'm just going to keep these roots, because it's kind of out of the pot now. Just going to keep them moist. So let's prepare our soil. Got a little bit of water to put in here. So what we want with the soil is nice and moist. We don't want it to be sloppy. We just want it to be damp. So basically, we just want it to have a moisture property that's not going to pull and wick whatever moisture is in the roots. So this is pretty good. I want to mix it up nicely. I don't want any dry spots. It's good to keep the soil light and fluffy because what that's going to do is allow oxygen. Those roots are going to want oxygen. So we're going to take this pot. We're just going to put this dirt in here. And what we want to do actually is we want to make a little hole for it so that we can get it and test first before we actually pull it out of the pot, which I've already done. Anyways, keep those roots moist. So we're going to continue on with this. We'll come back in a second and I'll show you basically a little trick to make sure that you've got the right sized hole for your plant. Okay, so I've made a little hole, which square peg, round hole. It is what it is. So I made a little hole. You can see that right there. Now this plant, normally the plant would be in here and you would do that and then yeah, great. But guess what? I pulled it out before I did all that. So now we have this, which I now know fits. And actually, this plant, if I wanted to just leave it, like it's kind of got its own pot. Like it's That's such a root bound situation that it really doesn't even need to be in a pot. We're gonna put it in a pot anyways because that's what this video is about. And I kind of want this content. So let's put this in here. We have a great little hole. We've already made it. We shaped it. And now we're just gonna fill in around. Pretty simple stuff. Again, we want nice and moist soil so that those roots stay moist. Just gonna pack it in around. If you haven't made a big mess like I have, that's okay. Because basically what that means is, this just means I'm having fun. And if you don't wanna have fun when you're doing this, that's okay too. So there we go. So now we have beautiful, potted up basil plant that's now, I think, happy. So let's just talk real quick about stress, okay? Most living things don't like stress. I don't like stress. Most living things can handle a little bit of stress over a long period of time. Most living things can handle a lot of stress all at once and then it's gone. Most living things cannot handle a lot of stress all the time. So this plant has just undergone some stress. And it was stressed when it was root bound. And then we stressed it out again because we pulled it out and we poked at it and pulled those roots apart. And actually, I should show you, in this case, what I've done is it's so bad that I just put it in the soil. What you can do and what we should do in most situations is pull apart, just pull at the roots. Because if they're spiraling, they're going to continue to spiral. We want to change the direction and say, hey, what you were doing before was the result of stress that you shouldn't have been under. Now you're free. Okay, so just pull out those roots, get them in there. So essentially what I'm trying to say is we want to stress this plant out the least as possible. So as you can see, I haven't pulled off just the ones that I showed you, but I haven't really pulled off any of the dead leaves. I haven't pruned it back. All I've done is pot it up. And if you're potting up, that's all you want to do. Okay, let's not give this plant more stress than it already has. I've heard some say that you can add some organic fertilizer at this point, especially if you're transplanting out. That's a great idea. I'm not going to do that because I want to focus on the one thing that this plant is stressed right now about, and that is getting potted up, getting put into new soil, different soil. It looks the same to me, but I'm not a plant. So think about that as you're doing these things. We want to stress these plants out as little as possible. Thanks for growing along with me on this one. I hope you learned something. Until next time, I gotta grow.